for KI7YS Zulu. Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I am Dave, KD7CYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airwaves with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater and puts out images of 1.2 gigahertz. Also, we have a presence on YouTube. All you have to do is Google WW7ATS, WW7ATS, and that will take you to our homepage on the internet. Then it will have a link to get you to YouTube for our nets that are held on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So now I will pause in case there's anybody that has emergency traffic that needs to make a contact before our net gets fully underway. Connected N7KC. Television Society Net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. And this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Already checked in by video is Ron, KD7QKU. Jessica, KS7UHK. Lee, N7KC. Bert, N7CS. Richard, K7ITX. Wade, W7ITL. Jim in Covington, N7QO. James, WU7N in Bellevue. And myself, Dave, 87CYM in Lake City. Anybody else who can join in? Well, with that, let's start off the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net with Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone, and thank you, Dave. This is KD7QKU over here in Tacoma. Well, I didn't do much. There just hasn't been doing anything, I'm telling you. You'll get the mail, put the garbage out. Went out to the shed. My brother-in-law's going to remodel his kitchen. He needed some 12-2 wiring. So I thought I had a bundle or roll, and so I went out there and I found it, and I brought it in and sent him a picture of it. Told him I had it. He was welcome to use all he wanted. Well, then he sent me a picture back, and he'd already bought something. So he didn't need mine, so put it back in the shed. And that's kind of how the day goes. But boy, did I get myself into trouble tonight. Let me let it drop. So I was sitting in here watching TV, and the cat has this box in our other bedroom, in our master bedroom. And I was smelling something, and Joanne was cooking dinner. And I'm sitting in here and I'm saying, what is Joanne cooking? I can't tell. It smells funny. I got up and I went out in the hall, and it wasn't coming from the kitchen, it was coming from the bedroom. I went in the bedroom, and the cat hadn't done a very good job of covering it up, so we usually scoop it up and put it in a baggie and then put it in the garbage. So I scooped it up, put it in the baggie, sprayed some air freshener, and then I walked out in the kitchen, and I just said, Jamie, I could smell it, and I couldn't tell if it was the cat or you were cooking something for dinner. Oh, man, did I get in trouble. That wasn't funny at all. I still think I'm getting the cold shoulder, but I don't know. Anyway, that's it over here in Bellevue, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, that was a COVID smell test, I guess. Let's go to Jessica, KS7UHK.
Sometimes you have to keep the quiet things quiet and not say them out loud. That's hilarious. This is Jessica KS7UHK up here in Everett, where it's 48 degrees and raining. And taking out the garbage and doing the mail, that's half my afternoon. That's excellent. It's just getting up and doing a little exercise. For me, to take the garbage out, you got to take it down, several buildings down to the trash compactor. So it's a little walk for me. So that's just some exercise in there. Let's see, I got a good Dr. doctor review from my doctor saying all my tests I had just recently done all came back good, so I don't have any kidney failure and I don't have any blood clots. And hey, that's a win in my court, because I was worried about problems going on. And this weekend I tried to renew my ham license because it's coming up due in this next month. And went on the website to go take care of that over at FCC ULS, I think it's called, the Universal Licensing Service System. And I could not make it finalized. I'd get to it so far, and then it would say error. Well, I did it today, and it worked great. So I'm just figuring that they must turn off a certain computer on the weekends, for the weekend. So don't try to do it on the weekends, or on a holiday like Martin Luther King Day. It was probably also down then. So I waited till today. It worked great, so I'm good until 2032. And so that's pretty cool. Got 10 years in. With that, I'm going to pass it back to Jessica. KF7UHK.
KF7UHK. Let's go all the way to Port Angeles for Lee, N7KC. See if he comes through on Echolink.
How about it? Am I making it? Okay, good. Alright, N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Ron? Well, howdy everybody. Good to see you all. Jim on Kevin's, I don't see your picture here, your video, but I know you're there. I don't know about Gary. Anyway, my computer, I've been warned by Google that there was going to be a two-step verification from time to time to get into my account. And tonight was it. And it was more than two steps. I went in a lot of circles before I finally beat them down and got in. In fact, it made me late. I don't know, I guess I put the wrong thing in one spot, and then I had to get a code by email, you know the drill, all that sort of thing. But I'd rather go through the path than have somebody get in and, you know, do damage to my whatever. It was a pretty quiet day here. The weather net first thing in the morning, well, not the first thing. My first item in the morning at 7:30 is the Washington State net. It's the CW traffic net, 7:30 every morning, 365 days a year. I'm always there. And then the weather net is 9, and then I had to go to the dentist to get a crown put on. You know, just stick it on, no big deal. And I don't know, just went from there. Just little bits of this and that and so forth. It seemed like the day was just kind of went by. You know, so it's what? I made it. Congratulations, Jessica, on your good health. Yay! Touchdown! Very good. Yeah, well, that's nice to get a report like that. When I was 75 and I went to the doctor, they said, well, we're cutting you loose. We don't track people good until you make 75. And that's pretty much the case. If I want something done, I have to chase them down. So, I don't know. I'm not the pastor. I don't know. I'd be curious about Ron. He's achieved these lofty heights, and some of the other guys have too. Anyway, I was told that I was basically done in the medical system. They just weren't interested in me anymore. So, I'm out of time. What do we know about that? So, it's N7KC, Import Address, back to you, Dave. Thanks for taking the minute. Bye-bye.
N7KC, thanks for that. Let's go to Marysville to Bert, N7CS.
Well, good evening, everyone. Let's see, what have I been up to? Well, I found out that there's actually a 23-centimeter repeater that I can hit pretty well, FM repeater, from my house. I got a new 23-centimeter amp the other day. Well, actually, I received it a couple months ago. Like all my toys, it takes me forever to finally hook them up, so I finally hooked it up over this past weekend. And when I cranked it up to like 25, 30 watts, I could actually hit that repeater, and they could hear me. Before I could hit the repeater, but no one could really hear me very well. So yeah, it's like 1292.2 megahertz, the KB7 CNN repeater on Tiger East, and so I got the most out of 23 centimeters on this Icon 9700 rig that I've got since I've had it. Because they apparently do a not-a-net every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. They call it a not-a-net because it's just kind of a free-for-all. People get in there and just as they can say something, they do it. So it's a little tricky to get in that way, but it's still fun nonetheless. But yeah, it's kind of interesting on 23. On that repeater because it doesn't come in all that well in my house. Maybe S meter around 3 or 4, but just if you wait 15 minutes, it just starts to fade out and goes to 0. Wait another 10 minutes, it comes back 3 to 4. I can hear everybody just fine again. So just really interesting propagation on that repeater. But anyway, that's good for this round. This is Bert in Marysville, N7CS, back to that.
N7CS, thanks for that. And time for ID. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Okay, well, hi everybody. Well, I'm not like you. I've just been running from one project to the other. Probably had some complicated progress billing to do for some work that I'm on. Probably between the two progress billings that I just finished literally about 15 minutes ago, probably represents about $500,000 for the month of January. So me and I suspect my clients will be very happy about that. So with that being said, I guess the thing that's really intriguing me, and maybe some of the smarty pants in our group will be able to clue me in a little bit, but I don't quite understand what's going on with the FCC, the airlines, and this 5G situation. I can't imagine that AT&T and Verizon would spend, I don't know, not millions and maybe $1 billion on something that's going to interfere with the altimeters on the airliners. So, sheesh, tell me that ain't true, but someone thinks it is. So, anyway, that's my quandary for the moment. This is K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, let's get away. W7ITL in Tacoma.
This is W7ITL, and let's see if we can get over. I'm broadcasting here on analog today, so maybe someone can switch me in on the analog. Here we are. Today's been pretty long and drudgerous day. Just been kind of picking away at a couple of things for work, and then let's see. I just want to make a couple comments. Let me break for a second. So, Ron, I guess you got trouble for the cat stuff. So, yeah, I guess don't put it in the kitchen garbage. You got to put it outside. Let's see, Jessica, I'm glad to hear you have a clean bill of health, good grass, and let's see, hand license, good luck. It's awesome that you got that figured out. I know that website can be a bit of a challenge sometimes, and it is kind of depends on the day you go on there. Looks like you got a new crown. There was no trouble. Good. And Bert, I'm really interested to hear about your 23-centimeter experimentation and playing around with that new amp. You'll have to talk more about that later. And then Richard, as I'm good, you got your billing all done. That reminds me, I have some billing I need to do for some of my side work. Maybe not $500,000 worth, but I've got a couple $1,000 I need to bill out. So thanks for reminding me on that. Let's see, I've been playing around with ATSC 3.0 today. I got my Silicon Best HD home run hooked up, and I could get the audio, I get the video to play on those signals, but there's no audio, and we'll have to figure that out.
And it definitely seems to put a little more stress on my computer when I try to play those streams. So let's figure that out too. Alright, well this is W7ATL. I'll return the net back to you. This is, alright, thanks.
W7ITL, let's go to Jim in Covington, N7QO.
Thank you, Dave. Well, good evening, everyone. And Dave, I don't know if you noticed, Joel showed up as well. So good evening, Joel, and all others. Let's see, Ron. Oh, tisk. Not that I've never done the same sort of thing. I always blame it on the dog, though. But I guess if you don't have a dog, you gotta have someone to blame it on, right? Let's see. Jessica, yeah, congratulations on the renewal and on the physical. I've been doing kind of the same as both of you all. I have fetching mail, dealing with garbage. It looks like our trash company is finally going to pick up trash this week. They came and picked up trash, and I think they picked up recycle, or no, they did not pick up recycle. I had that out. They must have picked up yard waste, which I did not have out. So, last time they picked up here was before Christmas. They have resumed, so it hasn't been too bad, though. Lee, sounds like you're busy. A couple of nets in the mornings. That's, I don't know, I'd have to drink a bit of coffee and probably be tinkling during the middle of the darn nets drinking coffee there. But that sounds really cool, getting in on 1.2 gigahertz. Sounds like you'll have fun with that. I know you've got a variety of things there. Dick, man, I don't know what to make of all of this either. Earth, Jim? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, the 5G and the airlines, it seems to me someone had to authorize those frequencies, and it seems to me that should have been the FCC, and they should have solicited or at least provided opportunity to provide input, including the FAA, the airlines, and whoever else. So I'm not sure what went wrong there. I'm not even sure it's an issue. Allegedly, they rolled out 5G earlier, and it had a problem. Heard that it's on a different frequency, and also, can you hear me? I see something with, a lot of static. Well, sorry about that. I'll let it go this time. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, I think 5G is getting you as you're on your final coming in there. Let's go to James, WW7N.
Thank you, Dave. Let's do an audio check on me since I turned the power down here. Am I coming through okay? Okay, I got that preamp problem solved, but apparently we'll see if it holds up here for a while. Well, you know what, I just don't understand. I wrote a novel, and then I learned a new foreign language, and then I negotiated and started and sold a small business, and that was just before lunch. So I don't know why you're not getting things done these days. No.
I think the preamp's not functioning. Try again. And we got James, the king of silent movies, with us this evening. So, W7M, you want to pass and we'll come back to you? No comprende. Anyway, this is Dave, KD7ZYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. Here in Lake City, it's 47 degrees and raining outside. Need a day. That's been around the house. Some income tax. Started a folder with that. I put into the folder already that have arrived in the mail. Seems like the stuff that's supposed to come in the mail never gets here until the 1st of February, so I'm a little bit ahead on that. So that's pretty much what's happened here in Lake City. And so we can go to Joel, PJ7, SXR.
Gotta turn off the audio amplifier because it does not like to be on when the radio is on. It makes a lot of noise. Good evening, everybody. Sorry I was late getting on the Zoom call. I was on another Zoom with the local Aries group that I'm a part of, and going through exercise I got coming up at the end of the month, and being my first exercise, kind of walking me through how all that works and what goes on with that, and also working out some details to set up a 440 machine here at my place. They got a repeater at another location that needs to move and find a new home, and I proposed put it out here. I got a well building that's a decent size with a utility pole next to it that doesn't have any utility company wires on it. It's just the service from my house, so we can put the antenna on top of that and get that all set up. So that'll be cool. And Bert, yeah, it'd be cool to hear more about your 23 centimeter activities, and it's cool hitting that repeater. One of those frequencies that I've never played around with. Maybe one of these days. And Wade, checking out more stuff with Hamwan and looking at equipment on Amazon, and I have to save up a little bit, maybe get for the $300 and get the equipment and give it a try, because that's really got me interested in it. Drop for a sec. And I didn't hear some of the other check-ins, but Jessica, I'm curious of the LED thing over your left shoulder, the blinking squares. Yeah, that's cool. I like that visualization deal. So be interested to hear about that. And with that, I'll send it back to that. KJ7 SXR.
KJ7 SXR. Joe, thanks for joining us. Let's go back up to the top of the list to Ron. KD7QKU.
Okay, thanks, Dave. KD7QKU here. Well, Dave, you're kind of scratchy, too. Seems to be scratchy all around tonight. Yeah, it's good to hear, Jessica, you had a good report. And, of course, Lee, sounded like all I did at the dentist was have a crown put on. And Joel was talking about putting up that repeater. Told him that would be nice. It would be nice when to put it up where there's not so much RF like there are in some areas. So that would be really helpful to have it at home, I think. So I too, Jessica, tried to renew my license today at the FCC. I shouldn't say I did. My wife did. And I think we were successful. But How do you know you're successful? Do they mail you out a new license, I hope? Mine wasn't, Dave shaking his head, they don't mail you out a new license. So, mine expires in March. So I got a couple of months, but I would think they would mail you out a new paper license. It didn't cost anything, it was free. I guess I was surprised about that. I thought I'd have to pay some money. But anyway. And then, that 5G, I've been reading a little bit about it. But it seems like they're on a different frequency and lower power in Europe, so it's not as much of a problem as it is here. And I'm with Jim. It looks like, there would have been some cooperation between the FAA and the FCC about the frequencies and the power. I just don't understand that at all. And there was supposed to be a rock, or it wasn't a meteor, but I think it was just a rock was supposed to fly by the Earth this weekend, and I guess I didn't see anything about that on the news or on my phone or internet, so Jessica's nodding up and down, so maybe she knows about it. I guess it didn't hit us if it went by Sunday. So anyway, we were lucky there. All right, that's enough. Back to that KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for that. Let's go to Jessica, KF7UHK.
They said that rock that went whizzing by at about 1.5 million miles away was about the size of the Empire State Building, and I can't remember the other structure they said it was similar to in size. So yeah, it probably would have made a mess depending where it hit. They'll send you something in your email that you can also open up and make it look like a license that we normally got in paper form. So I downloaded that and copied that to my computer, so I at least have some kind of proof of it if someone comes knocking. Let's see. Crowns. I'm getting a new crown put on next week. I had the prep work all done, which is never any fun. I always get the gas. I pay a little more and get the gas, the nitrous oxide, and that makes it so much easier. All the drilling and stuff. I get done with that, and otherwise my whole body feels rattled. So I get the gas, and that makes it so much easier. Let's see. Today I have in the electric smoker. I have a piece of salmon with some brown sugar and some molasses on top. So I'm trying to candy it. It should be delicious. Let's see. Supply chain issues. So I talked about supply chain issues. If you see anything out there in the world, it's kind of fun to know. I know the other day I found it was hard to find chicken. There was not a lot of chicken things in the cold department. And also garbage bags the size you use in your kitchen. They were like completely empty of those. Had no garbage bags for that. So we had to get one that was made for like a compactor, which is about the same size. Let's see, and also my Windows 7 machine, which is the one I used to have here on my desk that I would talk to you guys on. That had had extra fans in it to keep it going on a cardboard box. I had a thermostat. Whenever it got too hot, it would go to blue screen. Well, I had these fans that kept it cool, so I couldn't use my Zoom in a normal way because it was too noisy. Well, I took it over to Best Buy and the Geek Squad because it's an old Samsung, and they cleaned out the fan that made it not cool off anymore. Now it works great. And they also taught me how to remove a profile that I had got separated from the rest of my profiles, which saved me about 56 gigs in my computer because I accidentally wiped out a profile INI type file, and so I had to make a new profile, which meant I had the old profile in there, and I know how to, and they taught me how to do it. So, and they also taught me how to open up the computer if I needed to do all that again, and that was really handy, and they did it for free. So I am a fan of Geek Squad now. So this is KF7UHK. Good news.
KF7UHK, thanks for that, Jessica. And ID time again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on Dave, KD7CYM. And this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. Let's go to Port Angeles to Lee, N7KC.
Okay. Well, very interesting. I was just trying to educate myself on aircraft altimeters and 5G, and just how close the frequencies are together. Apparently, the FCC has indicated that there is no problem, but the FAA thinks there is. So it's kind of a duke out, looks more like between two government agencies here. We'll see how that goes. But I didn't get any numbers, no numbers. So I don't know exactly how close they are, but in today's fancy digital filtering and whatnot, boxcar filtering, I can't imagine that they do. Turns out that in most of the world, other countries, they're doing just fine. But apparently the difference between the U.S. and other countries is that the cell towers, the 5G cell towers, use more power than the other countries. And so they think that there'll be a sort of a bias problem in the U.S. So we'll see how this all works out. Big money involved here. Big money. and that's going to make it very interesting, I think, see what's on. Anyway, I don't have anything else. It's good going on your license renewal. I renewed car tabs today. That's a bit of a trick online now. I got that done. I don't know, just a bunch of little things today. They don't add up to much, doesn't seem like, but I got these days in. I'm about out of time, so that's enough here. M7KC. Dave, back to you.
M7KC, let's go to Bert. M7CS in Marysville.
Okay, so Ron, if your wife filled out the renewal form, then now she's the one who's legal. You aren't, so she's going to have to do the net. Sorry about that. But let's see. Okay, Lee, I got your numbers. So here you go. C-band 5G in the U.S. uses 3.7 to 3.98 gigahertz. The radar altimeters on the planes are 4.2 to 4.4 gigahertz. So there's a 200 megahertz guard band between them. 200 megahertz. Some of the plane radar altimeters do not have filters on them to prevent outside of band to interfere. Most of them do. Apparently the 777, apparently the models they had didn't have the filter on it, but a lot of the other airplanes did. I don't see how this is really the cell phone or the cell network issue, since there's like 200 megahertz between them. But I mean, a lot of you on this call or on this net probably know more than I would about that. But that's that. Let's see. Yeah, Joel. I think Wade mentioned this in the chat. But when you buy that Hamlin equipment, you need to make sure you get the international version, because normally by default they'll send you the U.S. version, and that won't work at the Hamlin frequencies. Okay, and let's see. Whoops, I dropped all my stuff. Let's see if I can do a quick show of my amplifier, or my 23-centimeter amplifier there. Okay, so that, I'll talk more about that later. Anyway, this is Bert in Marysville, N7CS, back to net.
N7CS, thanks for the show and tell. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Okay, well, yeah, Bert, and thanks for the numbers on the 5G phenomenon and the airlines, and you too, Lee, for looking into it. So you guys have verified a little bit about what I'd already heard, and the fingers pointing seem to be at the well, let's see, there's always an agenda, and I don't know, obviously this is an agenda coming from the cell tower side of life, and their agenda, of course, is to not have to modify anything they've already done. But I've heard them say that, yes, the airline companies have known that they had a problem with the 777 for quite some time with respect to filtering.
and now all of a sudden it's a big deal to them. Well, okay, so that's from the cell company side. The airline side, I haven't heard a good argument from them yet. Other than, who wants to tear into all the 777s and filter the altimeters? I can understand that being an issue, but I don't know. The big money, though, when you think about the companies that are involved, they're not. I can't imagine any one of the companies, just bending over and not putting up a fight. So this is really fascinating to me. I expect to learn a little bit out of it, and I'm not exactly sure the benefit of 5G, but I understand that it should be phenomenal when it takes hold. So anyway, thanks a lot, you guys, for that. So this is K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, let's go to Wade, W7ATL in Tacoma.
Hi, this is W7ATS back here again, and let me see, I won't be up too much about the 5G, it just seems a little like it's a show and not based on facts. So no, this is my personal opinion. I know some people probably listen, well, you don't know anything. But it is what it is, and it'll battle out and somebody's going to win, and I'm sure it'll probably be the cell phone companies. But we'll see. Anyhow, good net so far. I'm really curious to see how Joe's repeater shakes out and how it looks once it's all done. I'll check into it, Joe, once you get it up. Just let me know the frequencies and field times. And let's see. Oh, I was going to make a comment about Jessica and your crown and getting laughing gas. I'm definitely a fan of getting the laughing gas when I can. One of my dentists would just give it to me as a kind of courtesy. And now my new dentist doesn't offer it, and one of the other ones I've had in the past, they offered it, but they charged more for it. But anyhow, that sounds good. Let's see. I don't think I have anything more other than I'm noticing a lot of folks are having audio crashes on their audio on the repeater. So I don't know if that audio crash is coming from the input or the output of the repeater. So with that said, that's it. This is W7ITL, back to net.
W7ITL, let's go to Jim in Covington, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. I've heard a lot of static as well. They seem to have dissipated, though. So that's a good thing. We'll hope it hangs in there for me. Bert, thanks for looking up that stuff. I was curious about that. I am really intrigued by what prompted the complaints about the 5G and who originated the complaint. There must be some reason why they originated it, I would like to think, because there should be a notice of proposed rulemaking which goes out, and everyone should have time to comment on that before changes take place. So it seems like someone somewhere dropped the ball, and I'd say the cell phone industry got possession of the ball. I don't know. Maybe if that's... I have not heard anything about filtering on the 777s. Perhaps that would be a solution. Just install filters on the aircraft. Surely that will come with a cost, but cost of doing business, I don't know. Marginal designs. Don't know what to make of all of this. I'm confounded by why this problem has reared its head. Got me. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
In W7QO. And ID time again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYN. Let's go to James, WU7N, and see how that goes.
Okay, let's start with a 5 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that any better? Okay, that's interesting. Let's see. The first minute. First of all, I thought the whole thing with the 5G is that in a lot of parts of the world, they've got much, much smaller cells. Okay, so you lost me again. Okay, well, I don't know if I've got an intermittent problem here or not. Okay, well, let me go ahead and continue, and when it drops, just start waving your hands at me, because I need to troubleshoot this and figure out what's going on. I'm pretty sure the problem's not on my end. I don't think it's anything going on with the repeater, although I was getting some other interference. But anyway, what I was saying is I thought the whole 5G thing was the idea that you're going to have lots and lots of smaller cells, and you're going to move into that C-band with lower noise. And one of the complaints I heard about 5G as implemented in the U.S. is they don't have the computing power to actually route all those cells like they do allegedly in some foreign countries. I don't know if anybody else knows that or not. The other thing on radar altimeters in the civilian sector, there I know there's a long history of just a gentleman's agreement to stay away from 4.2 to 4.4. So I'm kind of surprised that wasn't, somehow that totally slipped off the fan belt or something. Anyway, Jessica, thank you very much for the chicken and bags report. That is news we can use. I mean, really. I'd heard that in eastern Washington, with the snowstorms, they have really gotten some bare shelves out there and other supply chain shocks, and I've heard some other tidbits along those lines, so I do appreciate that. However, trash did get picked up on Monday, even though there was supposed to be a strike. So I was pleased to see that. Bert, whatever you figure out with 23-centimeter propagation, let us know, because I am fascinated that you have a link there, but it seems to fade. It seems to come and go. That is very, very interesting to me. I wonder why that is happening. But then again here, I seem to have my own mystery along the lower frequency. So, Jessica, one question I had, how much did it take to renew? And did you use a company, or did you zero? It took zero to renew? Oh, I understand. I thought the FCC was charging now, so I learned something then. Well, anyway, at that point, since I seem to be on a roll here, I guess I will turn it back to net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. So, can everyone still hear me now? Okay, all right. Well, Dave, take it away. This is WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
WU7N, this is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. My take on the 5G was approximately 18 months ago, there was a lot of chatter on the internet about this problem between aircraft and 5G in the United States. Then I read an article today that stipulated Europe's 5G C-band is a different frequency range than what the American 5G is using, and that the Europeans are lower transmission power, and America is double power on the band that they chose to use here in America, so that seems to be a problem. And they were saying that the big carriers should be okay at SeaTac, but the small commuter planes will be forgotten in the fog until they can get this figured out. They will not be allowed to land at SeaTac. So the little commuter airlines are SOL in the fog. So we'll have to see what develops. Of course, we're not entering a big foggy area, so they should be okay for a while. Get this problem fixed. Anyway, that's what I had heard today. And so with that, I'll pass it back up to Ron, 87 QKU.
I think it goes to Joel.
Oh, I'm sorry that I didn't have that listed down there. Let's go to Joel, K7SXR.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, the whole 5G thing, I guess I've never really looked into it a whole lot, even what it's all about. I know, higher see it implemented out my way. I got one little tiny bar of cell service at my house, and I'll do all my calls on Wi-Fi here at the house, or, if the internet's down, I got to step outside on the deck to hopefully get a signal. I think it has something to do with my proximity to JBLM and some of their training area, that, they go out there and do their war game things and fire up their point-to-point microwave stuff, and makes me wonder, maybe they don't want the interference from the cell networks in that area. I don't know. So I see one new cell tower going up the road for me, but it's not any closer to my house. I measured it on Google Earth, and it's 2 miles away, and the other one's 2 miles away, and I can barely get a signal from that, which I was hoping it would be a little better, because I know there's a company that does internet over cell phone frequencies, but and I was checking with them for a little bit, but I think I'm too far away to be able to get that tower. And about the dental stuff, I might have to think about the gas next time I need a crown, because I'm not a fan of the dentist. They told me that my jaw doesn't open as wide as other people's mouths or something. I got a small mouth or something. They said my jaw's supposed to unhinge a little bit more and open up, because they're always yelling at me, open your mouth a little more. And I'm like, that's all I can do. That's as wide as my mouth will go. And and it's not much an enjoyable thing for me. So I might have to think about the gas. And I guess that's about it. I don't have a whole lot more to say, so I'll send it back to the net. KJ7SXR.
KJ7SXR, thanks for that, Joel. Now let's go up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, KD7QKU. Well, Joel, I have a small mouth too, and they're always telling me the same thing. Apparently I can't open it very wide either. So, let's see. Oh, Bert, yeah, that amplifier you got, how big is it? 1,500 watts or something? No, 1,000? He'll tell us later. So, he'll tell us later. But anyway, I was just wondering if it was going to dim all the lights in the neighborhood when he fires it up. Suck the power lines dry. So anyway, let's see. I don't have too much. I got out my regular old camera, not my camcorder, but this regular old camera, and I was looking through it to see if I could find anything that I haven't shown. And lo and behold, I stuck a different card in, and no, it was same old stuff. I think you guys have seen it all. Kind of nice stuff. Joanne's been going through picture albums that came from her parents when her parents passed away, and maybe her grandparents and whatnot. Oh man, I'm telling you, she's got a stack of old albums and pictures that she's been going through for 2 days. I haven't had a chance to look at many of them, and it wouldn't do me any good because I don't know who the people are anyway, but they did a lot of traveling. They take a lot of pictures. They really like the outdoors. They drove their old cars up at Mount Rainier and all over. It was pretty amazing what her grandparents did. So anyway, picnic lunches, and there was some pictures of Lake Serene, which is up Highway 2 on the south side. Some of them hiked up there sometimes. I hiked that once. Man, that was a steep little rooted trail up the hillside, but it was pretty once you got up there. Okay, that's enough for me. Back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, Ron, thanks for that. Let's go to Jessica, KS7UHK, and got to get another ID in here. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. On the 08 machine, I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Okay, that's taken care of. Let's now take Jessica.
That's 7 years. I once had sedation dentistry where they actually knock you out. They set me up with a thing to monitor my blood pressure, and they put an IV in me, and they hit me with something, and bam, I was out. And it seemed like seconds later I was done. They had done some oral surgery where they had implanted a little piece of someone's skull into my mouth so they could attach something into it later. And I was amazed at how cleaned up I was. I was standing up before I realized I was all done. And it's like, wow, that was fast. And it probably wasn't as fast as I thought it was, but I didn't feel a thing. And I didn't dream a thing. It was just bam, out and back in. I felt really confident after I did that. This clock back here is made by TIX. It's called a TIX, T-I-X. And it's made by, I wrote it down somewhere. I think it's called something root. Cube root. I don't know if you can find them again. Like I did, it's made in China. I've got two LEDs that are not working in the minute section over here on the last section. And I probably should open it up, but I don't think it has any screws, so I'd have to bust it open to get it open to work on it. So it's like, I'll probably just leave it till it finally dies of old age. Let's see, near asteroid. I was thinking maybe that was what the static was, but I think it's already past us. So, let's see, anything else here? I don't think I have anything else tonight, except for I've been playing with RDOP between a couple of computers because I didn't want to lose it. It's the Amateur Radio Digital Open Protocol, and it's like an email for computers over radio. So it sounds like telemetry when you send your message, and it listens to make sure you're not walking over someone, and it won't receive till it's all clear. So it's a kind of amazing little program, but it's still a little sensitive to make it work. So that's what I've been playing with just for fun, just here between two computers, and with open audio in the air, making these things talk back and forth. With that, this is KF7 UHK.
KF7 UHK. Let's go to Port Angeles to Lee in KC.
Yeah, now that we've been talking about crown sagas and whatnot, this is Wednesday, 2 weeks ago, is when I had the prep done, and I wasn't on the Wednesday night net that night. Something happened. It's on this side, on the right side, and it looks like they might have during one of the anesthetic injections, maybe punched your vein or something, and I'm on a blood thinner. I'm on sodium warfarin. And when I got home from the dentist, I was still heavily sedated. And so when it started to wear off, I started to get the most terrific pain. And then it looked like I had a hematoma. It looked like I had a blood leak and a big clot in my cheek. I puffed out. And I thought before it was all over, I was going to have to go down to the emergency room. But I got it settled down with ice and so forth. But the upshot of it is I haven't been able to open my mouth just enough to get a fork in the last few weeks. And today, I had to open up for the crown. So it was a little testy for a while. But we got the job done. But a week ago, I used a water pick, and I'm buzzing along the night that old crown went flat, that temp. And so I called the dentist the next day, and I said, what do you got for cement? So the gal, his office assistant, lives across the circle from us, and so she says, I'll bring some to you at lunch. So they got me a little thing. It's like epoxy you squeeze out. It's called dental temp. So I cleaned the cap, temp up really well, and I hope I don't time it out. Anyway, I got that darn thing on, and it stayed for the week. Anyway, it worked out just fine. But I'm just now starting to get over it where I can start to kind of open my mouth a little bit, and the soreness has gone down. So, I don't know, gas sounds pretty good, doesn't it, But then it was fine when I was exercised. It was after it all wore off, the things started to happen. So there you go. And Jessica, did you get any injections for an anesthetic? Oh, none? Zero? Okay. All right, well, I'll hear later. Anyway, N7KC, back to you, Dave. Oh, by the way, I won't be around again for 7-3, everybody. See you next time, but I'll hang around afterwards. Go ahead, Dave, N7KC.
N7KC, thanks for that. Let's go to Bert, N7CS, with his fancy amplifier.
Okay, let's see, a couple things from previous rounds I forgot to mention. Let's see, Lee, sorry to hear about your dental issues there. Hopefully it feels better soon. Jessica, you mentioned the government website's not working on the weekend. I wasn't sure if you were trying to say that as a joke or if you were serious, but I do seriously remember some government websites did not work on the weekend. I can't remember which ones they were, but it was something like written in the contract with the vendor that they got it built that this only has to operate during like business hours every day. So it's a real thing. And they have to obviously code it to not accept traffic during the weekend. I mean, it's just crazy. Let's see. Oh, James, you asked a question. That 23 centimeter FM repeater that I was talking about earlier, that is analog. So no digital there. It's just standard analog FM. And I think that covers the stuff on my list. So 73, I see we only have a few minutes left, so I'll turn it back so another person or two can get in. This is Bird Murray, so M7CS, back to that.
N7CS, thanks for that. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX in Kent.
Yes, in Kent, where our mayor and police chief got in trouble with the media a couple weeks ago. So anyway, oh gosh, you guys, I'm going to a dentist appointment tomorrow. So, God, I'm all worked up over this now after hearing all these scary stories. Yeah, I've had it all. I've had the Novocaine, the laughing gas. I guess sodium pentothal is what they use to knock you out, or whatever it is. I remember one time there was a oral surgery when they were removing my wisdom tooth that was impacted growing sideways, and when I woke up, there were just tears were just streaming down my eyes, just tears, just like I've been crying. And as I woke up in these tears, the dental assistant goes, "This is the part I hate." And I thought, what? Why do you hate it? Oh my God! So it's just supposed to be an exam. No, not even that. I think it's just a cleaning. Thank God. I hope that's all it is. And I'm very delicate around my teeth these days. You know, I'm just scared to death of crowns and all that business. And knock on wood, I've never had a root canal. I hear those things are a real nightmare. So, and last but not least, I love the old pictures, LeBron. Would you believe I have a stereoscope that they must have had back, at the turn of the century, like probably maybe even 1890 or something like that. There's a picture of my great-grandfather. He's as a little kid, about 4 years old, and he's wearing a dress. And I have to think it was probably around 1889 or something like that. There's a date on it. So yeah, I've got some old pictures that just blow my mind. So, all right, thanks a lot, you guys. A lot of fun. Thanks for putting up with me. 73, K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, and the time clock says net is expired at this point. So we'd like to thank the owners and operators of the 08 machine, the C-TAC Repeater Group, for allowing us to utilize the 08 machine for our voice transmissions for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society's nets held on Saturdays, Wednesdays, between 8 and 9 o'clock. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, KD7DYM, signing off the net. Good evening all. 9 o'clock.